Right now, there is a push to preserve a major Black historical site in Colorado, Dearfield, up in Weld County, southeast of Greeley. And joining us is Marcie Moore Gantz, director of the State Historical Fund at History Colorado. We've been chatting about this, and we talk about Dearfield. First of all, you were saying you grew up here. You really weren't aware of it in your early years.
Yes, born and raised here. I think I wasn't until around my 30s did I find out about Dearfield. There was a documentary that Renelda Muse, which I think maybe she was on 9.
Well,
I can't remember.
She was at Channel 4
yeah,
too,
Channel
for
4.
many years.
But Dearfield is a Black homestead that was founded in 1910 by Oliver Toussaint Jackson. It's in Weld County. At the height of the site, there was about 300 residents, 19,000 acres, and it showcased the resiliency and determination of African-American homesteaders during the 20th century. And in fact, it actually, these settlements were created after the Civil War by formerly enslaved people or their descendants, and it was an opportunity for Black people to own land, build homes, attend schools, serve as elected officials, all of that stuff, and it's a pretty amazing story. They had churches, they had a post office, they had a saloon.
They had everything.
All kinds of things.
It really was just thriving and prospering in a place in Colorado.
Yes.
So that's the significance, and we were just chatting. I mean, earlier this week we talked about Amachi getting this national park designation. When we think national park, it's not like we're not falling into Rocky Mountain National Park. This is really critical and important for many reasons besides the financial benefits to come with it.
Yes, well, like Rocky Mountain National Park is more kind of conserving in nature, whereas this kind of Park Service designation is preserving heritage and history and stories. And when you think about Dearfield, it's been a hidden history. And what's so amazing about this park designation is that it's not just, it's a crucial chapter of Colorado's history, but it's a huge chapter of our nation's history, and it will be one of the very few sites across the nation dedicated to the African-American homesteading experience. So that's pretty exciting.
It's so exciting, and also when you talk about this, this is a generational experience that you want people to explore.
Yes, you know, it's that site is not only historic, it's an archive, it's a living archive, and an opportunity to provide a historical reenactment or interpretation, not just for, there are descendants that actually are still around generations later, but also just young people and travelers that really didn't understand that Black people actually moved across the West just exactly the same way as the westward expansion, and you know, put down their forks and you know, owned land and farmed land. Now, they had the same experience as other pioneers across the West, shared the same experiences. So they were, they had challenges with drought, harsh farming land out there.
Yeah.
And whew, I was just out there. We actually got stuck out in Deerfield last Friday. I won't tell you that story, but also isolation from, you know, family and friends from back east. So it really wasn't easy. Drought and the Dust Bowl kind of stopped everyone in the tracks. And I think probably as late as 1965, people were still living there, but it was very few people. Very few people.
Marcie, this is why this needs to happen, and people need to learn this. Thank you so much for sharing that. You can make your voice heard on making Dearfield a national park. The National Park Service is accepting public comment through Friday. We'll give you a link on the MPS study on 9news.com so you can participate, because we got to keep telling this story. Thank you.